build some really impressive stuff using just the Sims 4 base game. Stuff that you would never realize is base game. And by that, I mean it looks like they're using mods and custom content because the way they build this stuff, it's almost unrecognizable as just being the base game. It takes a lot of creativity and talent to know how to take what we have in the base game and turn it into something new. They'll see these random debug objects and then use them to piece together a custom headboard or something. I mean, it is really impressive. And today I want to try to channel that a little bit. I don't want to use the tool mod or anything like that because my hope is that this is easily recreatable by some of you. So we're going to use just the base game and no mods for this build, but we are going to take advantage of every cheat imaginable. Specifically, we're going to need the debug cheats. There's 2 cheats you're going to have to remember. The first is bb.show hidden objects. That one's going to unlock all of the like unlockable things in game. Think the collectibles that your Sims can find out in the wild, like the frogs and the little gems and stuff, but also a lot of random items that your Sims use functionally. So for example, when your Sims are mopping a puddle, they do have a mop, but you can't find that mop in build mode. You can find it in debug. Even things like the glasses and plates that they eat on, you can find those in debug. You can even find the bassinet baby in debug. There's all kinds of random stuff in that first cheat. And the next one is bb.show live edit objects. And this is gonna unlock all the environment stuff. So think like this landscaping. This exists here in the world, but we don't have these items in build mode. You can find those using that debug cheat. In fact, you can find a lot of stuff using the debug cheat, even like these really cool planter boxes. These are some really nice stepping stones that you can use. There's also a lot of base game debug that we do have in build mode, but the difference is these objects are free. So you can get all kinds of nice landscaping without paying any money for it. There's also fake cars that you can find. I mean, the possibilities are endless in debug. So we're gonna do our best to try and make something really cool and like really take advantage of all of this stuff. Maybe not all of this stuff, because some of these things are a little bit weird. Like that is a doll head, but we'll definitely use a lot of it to try and make something cool. I was actually kind of inspired by this house. I think this is like a real life tiny house model. They're trying to sell this to people, so they built like a model home version. I don't want to build this exact shape, but I do really like this color scheme with like the black and the wood and then this stone. And I love the big glass windows. So I think I want to use this vibe as the inspiration. And we don't have a lot of money. We only have 17,500 simoleons. So we're gonna have to do our best to make this work. I feel like the actual layout of the house can be quite simple, and we only really need to have 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. I would prefer to have like something going on in the backyard, but if it can't be done, that's fine. Oh, we're also gonna need the move objects cheat. So this is bb.moveobjects on. And this makes it so you can place stuff anywhere. You don't need to worry about like items clipping together and stuff. I kind of like the idea of combining some flat roofs with this gabled roof. How does something like that feel? I know it's very simple, but that might be what we need. Can I afford a nice front door, or is that like a really foolish idea? Maybe we could use the tiny one. I mean, it's kind of cool. I like it being on the side as well. Okay, so this comes in black. We kind of wanted to do wood and stone and stuff. I'm not really sure exactly what color would be best. Let's put a black foundation everywhere first, because I like how that looks a lot. There'll be some sort of pathway over here too. I don't really know what it'll look like yet, but it'll be something like this. And then maybe like a black metal on this part of the roof. I have a sort of interesting idea. I'm not sure if I should do this or not, but I kind of have this vision of some sort of glass roof. Again, this might be like an absolutely terrible idea, but I kind of think it's cool if we had some sort of like open part of the roof. The only problem is I don't want to have it overhang. Like I don't like the glass there, so I think it would have to be like this. I guess we can have no overhang on the whole roof. Maybe that's kind of trendy. Ew, why do you have to be like slightly too high like that? Why must you do that? It is cool though. This might be kind of overboard, but what if there was like some sort of hangout on top of the roof? Or is that like so silly? It might be too much with what we have. So maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but wouldn't that be kind of cool? Also, where should the glass go? Should it be smaller and like kind of towards the back or something? I think I like how that looks. Annoyingly, these windows don't come in like a real true black at all, which is really frustrating, but I love how big those windows are. I don't even care how much it costs. I just like them. Should we do small windows in the bedroom? I could probably put some small windows in this bathroom as well. Okay, we should probably think about layout inside for a second because we have a lot of open space in here. I was kind of picturing the kitchen would be back in this section. I guess I'll use this kind of counter, and I kind of wanted to do it like this. I don't really like the corner, like how it meets there, but I think this is kind of cool to have the kitchen this way. That is a lot of cabinets, so it's gonna be kind of pricey, but we could do bar stools instead of a table, and then there would be some sort of living room kind of here. Again, we'd probably pick different colors. I'm more just thinking about like where this stuff's gonna go. Maybe before we get too far, we could buy the appliances just so we know that we've got enough money for them all. I do like the vibes of this though. Unfortunately, everything in this game is so expensive. You come in so confident and then all of a sudden it's like you're out of money completely. I also really wanted to have a computer in this room. I feel like it's so important to have computers in this game. I say this every time I make a starter home, but seriously, you really need a computer. It's not too pricey either. I mean, this is I was gonna say it's a fully furnished house. It's not quite fully furnished, but it's got all the necessities and we've still got a lot of money, so maybe it'll be okay. One thing it is most certainly not is fully furnished. It is not fully furnished. Okay, well, I kind of like the windows behind the TV as well, so let's try that. Is the glass roof okay right there, or is there like a lot happening? Should the glass roof be over the windows on purpose? Because I guess that is kind of cool, but no, I think I like it better in the back. Oh no, I forgot I have to buy half walls. That's kind of expensive. Okay, well, we probably don't need to buy half walls for these parts, just for like this main part. I want this to seem like one continuous wall, but I could probably get away with just the half wall trim on this section. Even just something like this, that's fine. It's black. I think I like how that looks. The problem is there isn't really a lot of wood in this game, at least not in the base game. This is kind of a different color. I was sort of hoping that it would be a little bit darker than that. Oh, it does come in black though. Wait. Oh, I kind of like the black. Do we then combine that with the stone? There is absolutely no wood accents on this right now. So I guess I didn't really think that part all the way through. I mean, there isn't really any shape in the front, so there's not a lot of places to put the different accents. It is possible that we could expand this a little bit. That would be sort of identical to the back. No, why are you doing that? Okay, it was clipping kind of weird. I don't think I want it to be identical everywhere. Okay, how do we feel about this layout instead? I like the door being further over, because we could even probably put the couch up against the wall instead, which gives us some more walking space. The wood's just not really working the way that I thought it would. Maybe we could do this. What is that? Martian soil? It looks like a beige, like stucco color almost. At this point, is it better to just get rid of it again? I know I'm making this place really big, but honestly, it probably is nice to have a big bedroom, so I'm okay with that. I want to put something on this wall, but all the things that I'm thinking of are not base game. I was like, oh, we could do a cool plant wall. No. Maybe I'll leave this blank for now and we can dig around and debug. Actually, speaking of debug, I really, really like these stones. Let's use these really cool stepping stones instead of a real path in the front. Cause like, look at how cool that looks. I mean, I don't really love how the rest of this looks. Maybe I could put a glass roof in here too. I do this trick sometimes where you put a hole in the platform and then you put a glass roof in there and then it looks like there's a real skylight. This way is also free, so that's kind of a win. Should I do gravel on the roof? I don't know what to put on the roof. This is free and free is good, so maybe I should go back to this. Should we try and make some sort of like fancy custom pattern like this in the bathroom, or is that really dramatic? I mean, it does look kind of cool. I don't know if I want it to be black and white though. It looks cool, but it's also, I think, slightly different vibes than I was going for in here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Flooring's kind of expensive, isn't it? That is a bonus of using the default concrete. Like, we don't have to use any extra money. It's just there. Should I make the counters all white? No, I don't know. We could try to get more wood inside, like how we wanted to outside. We just didn't have enough money for it. On the inside, we can really try to embrace that color scheme we liked. Can we afford art? This is 435 simoleons. That's a little bit pricey. Perhaps a little bit out of our price range, but that's okay. We can try and keep it for now. What do you think about that? Is it cool to have the all black tile, or is it like too much? Actually, no. I was gonna give him a smoke alarm, but I changed my mind. That's too expensive. You don't get one. Oh my God, we need a trash can. Okay. None of the rugs are gonna work for this. This one is so expensive. That's 825 simoleons. I'm really tempted to use it though. I actually kind of like that. I'm trying to figure out ways to bring the wood over here too, because there's like none in this section. I don't think I like the pattern. I do like this tile though. I think the black tile is really cool. We could probably use it as like an accent color on just one wall. I'm trying to put some decor in here so it's more interesting. I kind of would like to get a better sink too. Something like this one, like a cooler looking sink would make such a difference. I feel like the bathrooms in my builds always suffer a lot when we have to do cheap builds because I just don't want to spend money on decor in the bathroom because I'd rather have like stuff in the main area. We still have like 3,000 simoleons. We're doing okay, although this bed is probably not gonna cut it. Maybe I'll delete that. It's worth buying a better one, right? I think we can all agree that there's way more functionality in having a nice bed in this game. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think about this like brown rug? That's kind of horrible, isn't it? Probably not. I was gonna try to use it, but maybe I shouldn't. I mean, we could try to use it. I guess we could potentially do wooden accents in here and then have like the black rug. What if there was a real wood floor instead of the black wood floor? Oh my gosh, all of a sudden the place looks way better. I think that just added so much more life inside of here. Yeah, okay, let's keep that. I wonder what we can dig around in debug and find decoration wise, because there are some actually really interesting paintings. There's also stuff like this, like these are little like clay things that your Sims can make with that ball of clay. So we could use some of those as decor. Specifically, I'm picturing some of the collectible paintings. Oh, headstone. Okay. Well, I was more thinking about like artwork. Oh, these are 0 simoleons too. Ooh. Let's place one of those. The frogs are cheap, but they're still 10. What I was kind of envisioning were like these pieces of art. That's only 140, and it's kind of a cool like space themed picture. I could actually probably even use that instead of that other one. I don't know what I'll put on this wall, but like look how cool that looks. And it's cheap, 135. That one's 255. Okay, well, I need to use these more often because these are so cool. These are prints that your Sims can find when they're doing like the telescope stuff. If you use that big observatory item, you can get those. And you can also get prints if your Sims use the microscope. That's like what some of these are. They're microscope prints. And like, look at how beautiful that is. You would never know if you weren't digging around in debug for that. And some of them are big. I won't use this in here because it's too expensive, but it's definitely nice to know about. I do like the vibes of this living room, but I feel as though these walls are kind of sad and I don't know what to put on them. I'm not really sure where to go from here. I think I might have made this place too expensive. I don't really know what else we can add. I think now it's time to really break out the debug though. Like, let's go through all of the free stuff and see what we can do. Hopefully a lot of really interesting landscaping is in our future, because look at how cool some of these bushes are. Like, we could totally use this, I don't know, around the back or something maybe. I think if I remember correctly, there's some sort of item that looks like vine type of plants. Oh, TV remote. Oh my gosh. See, there's all kinds of cute little things like that we can try and find. Maybe I should just go through literally every single item in debug and see what we can get, because there's also some cool bottles. Maybe if we had a shelf in the kitchen, we could put those on it. I'm worried about using some of the cups because I think the Sims might class these things as being dirty dishes in game. And I don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want there to be smelly stuff, but I was gonna say I could try and size down the cars, but that's as far as they size down. So that won't be going on a shelf. That's a little bit too big. I would like to put some of the palm trees. So maybe I'll get a couple and we'll figure out placement, but for now I'll just leave them. This is a jar of fertilizer, but that might work on the shelf too. Yeah, that's the baby I was talking about. We're gonna avoid that one. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're gonna avoid that one. I don't really want that here. There are also just some like fish. Don't really want to place that either. Oh, this is cool. There's some makeup debug. I don't think I'll use this here, but there's also some cute like little sandbox type things that you could place in a playground. I mean, there really is a lot of things in debug that are super useful. Oh, I could give them a book. Oh, these are cheap. That's a good idea. Yeah, okay, we won't be using these books. Those ones are 250. So we can just have one cheap book sitting out. I'm gonna put a couple shelves in here and then I'm gonna try and clutter up the kitchen like this. That's one way to add some color into the kitchen. Putting some fake bottles. This is really weird, isn't it? Yeah, maybe a little bit. I'd like to put some plants up here too. So right now I'm pressing 9 to raise these plants with move objects on. That way I can kind of get some stuff custom placed on the shelf, and then since it's like too high, I'll just lower the shelf to be the right height. That's a good way to place items that aren't slotting correctly. You can even do that on like counters and stuff. If you wanted to use some cute kitchen clutter, but it's like not slotting in the right way, a pro tip is to move the counter out of the way. I know, sounds very odd. Place the item you want on the counter and then take that item off, because you see how it stays at the right height automatically, and then you can place it kind of in the hole where the counter would be, but just adjust to be in the right spot, and then put the counter back back, and then you don't need to worry about it slotting to anything automatically. You can just kind of get it in the right place. It is annoying because you kind of have to fiddle with it a little bit to get it in the right place. Oh, I can put soap in the bathroom. Maybe I shouldn't. That's expensive. Okay, I like how the kitchen looks. I think it seems more lived in, and then your Sims can use these 2 counters to cook. In the bedroom, I don't really have a lot going on. And we also have this weird part in the front to worry about. Should we just put windows? Oh, why did I leave it so long? I should have figured this part out sooner. I don't know what I was thinking. I think that no, I don't like that. Wait a minute, that might be okay. Can I do both of those windows like that? I do like how that looks above the desk as well. We're gonna do that little trick again with the fake slotting and like move the makeup off the desk and then try and put it back, because then it looks like it's placed in a better area. Okay, I think that's the best that we can do inside though. Let's think about landscaping on the exterior because I have left that until the very last minute and we probably should think about it. I don't really want to do palm trees. I don't like palm trees. Oh, let's switch the mailbox too. Ew, this is better. I hate this. I don't like how it looks. Oh no. Okay, we gotta get some trees. Trees fix everything. Kind of forgot about needing lights as well, so we'll have to put those in. One problem with debug landscaping is that it tries to jump up to the height of the foundation. All landscaping used to do this, and then they updated it, but the debug stuff still does it because the debug stuff isn't like really landscaping. The debug stuff is like fake landscaping, so if you're having that problem, it can be kind of useful to just get rid of the foundation, do the landscaping, and then put it back. Then you don't need to worry about it jumping constantly. I'm not really feeling like I'm gonna put a bunch of flowers. I think most of what I'm gonna do is bushes. Oh my gosh, I totally did not, this may be silly of me, but I totally did not notice that we had different colors. How cute is that? Maybe I could use some of this bush. Does that look really weird or is it kind of cool? Guess we could try and do a couple of them? I don't know. I think it looks weird. I don't think I'm very good at this. Maybe I could use that little plant that I liked in one of these planter boxes instead. I actually kind of like that idea, and that helps put something on the porch too. Oh, I found another bottle. This one slots. That's weird. Why didn't the other 2 slot? I will never understand this, but okay. This might be a good thing. We can try and get some like more space over here. It almost looks like olive oil or something, that bottle. Oh yeah, that's way better. Okay, I'm glad that I found that. It was separate from the others. Oh, some of these are kind of cute. I've never seen that before. I'm not kidding. I don't really, I don't like the texture of it that much, but it's interesting to know that it exists. I think I might try and get a couple chairs out here too. I realize that this is a little bit expensive, but I like the idea of having some sort of outdoor space. And this is probably the best that we can do. I wonder if we could use a debug fence. Or here's an idea. Maybe there could be like a bush. So instead of like a fence, it's still, you know, surrounded, but I don't know. It looks kind of weird with this. Obviously it's clipping, so I'd have to move it. And then how far away can it be without it being weird? I guess it could be terrain paint instead. Okay, here's what I've got. I've got really simple landscaping with just a little bit of flowers and some bushes. The last thing I want to do is maybe get another tree or 2. I know I'm building this in Oasis Springs and they probably wouldn't have trees like this, but I just really want to have a tree, okay? I feel like the backyard needs it. There's not much going on. I'm actually gonna put a planter box back here too. Debug has a couple cute things like the watering can and stuff that are free, so we can put that by it. I'm just trying to decorate this table look kind of cute. I like the decor on there, and then maybe the last thing we could get is like one more painting. Oh, or maybe some of these. The postcards might be kind of cute because I could get the cork board. That feels kind of cozy. Slightly more lively decor. Get the rest of the terrain paint down everywhere. Oh, you know what? I like this little house. I think this is kind of cute. I'm glad we put like some fun glass roofs as well. It makes the top of the building more interesting because really it's very simple. It's very simple and very flat, but I probably shouldn't spend any extra money. I'm gonna put this on the gallery. Moody starter home. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Being able to use debug has like really skewed my perspective of what a starter home is, because you can do something like this and then really have a lot of things inside. It doesn't feel starter homey on the inside. Like all the other starter homes don't have any landscaping. They've barely got any decor. So it's nice to get to use cheats like this to really explore and find some cool stuff. I like this one. I'll probably play in this one, to be honest. I'm embarrassed by how long it took me to build, but hopefully you liked it. On that note, I'm gonna end the video right here. If you like Sims builds and you like stuff like this, I do all kinds of it here on my YouTube channel, so feel free to subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow. Okay, bye everybody. I really like the color scheme in here, honestly. It's not really my personal style, but I think it looks really beautiful in game.